stuff. Oh.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Jump Cut.
The Jump Cut. I forgot the name of our show.
It's okay. We talk music, movies, and geek stuff.
Is music in there too?
Maybe. It depends.
I review audio and movies, so I guess that counts.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Good enough.
I'm one of your hosts, Nigel Fulton. Here with me is...
I am Steven Seagal. How are you? I'm Steve May. How are you?
Seems like you're out for justice today. But yes, this is a show where we basically review movies, TV shows, and comic books now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming up, we have this new segment that we're trying out called Geek News, where we talk about what happened last week.
Title pending. So kick us off with that, Nigel.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of trailers that popped up on the internet this week. Chucky is one of them. This is basically a reboot of Chucky. If you've ever seen the original Chucky, it's about a little boy who has a doll that comes to life and kills everybody.
Yeah.
Is that good about it?
Yeah.
Now, did you watch the trailer or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. And full disclosure, Chucky's one of those must-see movies that I haven't seen because there's hundreds of must-see movies. Get off my back, people. But anyway.
So you've never seen the original Chucky?
I have not. So I plan to watch it because I love a good horror flick. But the trailer just looked really corny. I think that was kind of pointed to make it kind of campy.
Right.
But remakes just never turn out well for these things, you know?
I watched this trailer, and there's a couple things that I figured out from watching the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about this movie as of yet. I don't know the plot or storyline. A couple things I figured out. Number one, it seems that he's not like the original Chucky. It was voodoo. He was controlled by somebody's spirit.
Okay.
Okay. This one looks like it's controlled by AI. Artificial intelligence.
The note cards.
Yes. So basically, he's a tiny Terminator. And he can also control other Chucky dolls.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And everything that's like the company that made him, I forgot the name of the company, but the company that made him can also control everything with them. So he can control cars, he can control like anything made by that same company.
So what did you think of the trailer?
I'm on the fence, man. I really am.
One among the fence.
I'm on the fence because the kid that plays Andy Barkley is too old to be playing with dolls.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. Like he like the original Andy Barkley was about 6 years old. This kid looks about 40.
They're growing up quick these days.
The other problem that I have is that this kid, kids don't play with dolls anymore.
I'm gonna put my Power Ranger figures away now.
But they don't. They don't. Now.
Yeah, no, we have like. That's one thing I noticed is that we had Legos, they have Minecraft.
Right.
And that's a really interesting thing for me because they won't kind of get the tangibility of Legos.
Exactly.
But they will get the tangibility of just throwing their controller against the wall with redstone. Oh my god.
Now if this was like a Fortnite killer, like I'd be all over it. I'd be like, yes, I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But no, it's about a doll, and mind you, the original doll was more like a regular doll, like more plastic and everything.
Yeah.
This is all mechanical.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I guess we have to wait and see with that.
But I do have a question for you, though.
What's your question for me?
Since this is a reboot, how do you feel about movie reboots?
Well, I kind of just stated I don't like them because there's some movies that just shouldn't be touched. Okay. I mean, there's some reboots that I did enjoy. I enjoyed the Rob Zombie reboot of Halloween. Okay. I thought that it gave a new perspective to the same story. Okay. But then it kind of went downhill with the second one with the ghosts and but you have but then there's I can't really think of off the top of my head any reboots that I genuinely loved more than the original.
I don't think there are
some movies are timeless with their cinematography and their plot and everything. American Psycho. Okay. Should never be rebooted. American Psycho 2 was trash. It was not even meant to be a reboot. Right. But if they try to reboot American Psycho, it just won't work because everything around it is kind of centered around you have him walking around with his cassette player, Patrick Bateman just kind of doing his own. It wouldn't work in a modern era, you know?
It's hard.
Especially with cameras and everything. It's just, they'd have to make the ending definitive and it would ruin the abstraction of the movie.
It would.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing this a lot lately. So, for instance, the Transformers movies,
I like the Bumblebee reboot.
Okay.
I like that. That was good. I don't think
Spider-Man, they rebooted Spider-Man a couple times.
Yeah, I'm mixed about each reboot, but those reboots aren't. I don't consider those reboots in the vein of what we're speaking.
Right.
What I'm thinking is that reboots from like for decades later, like Carrie.
Well, yeah, Carrie 2 sucked, but but you know, my thing is like every couple of years there's a new generation that is okay with these reboots and remakes. So like for instance, there are some people who do like Star Wars episodes 1 and 3 through 3 instead of the original Star Wars that it came out.
Do the machete version when watching it. Just don't watch 1 though. Just cut 1 out of that order. It makes no sense and it gives more questions.
But speaking of movie reboots, another one had popped up this week. Aladdin. Aladdin, yes. The 1992 movie.
Thanks to Hunter and Chelsea for tuning in.
The 1992 animated movie from Disney that starred a little kid from Agrabah who finds a lamp.
Wow, you're on top of yourself with this.
Yeah, I try.
I remember Blue Robin Williams and cartoons.
That's it?
I watched that movie so long ago. I'm not a big Disney guy.
Nah?
No, I like what Disney can do, but I was never drawn by the musical numbers or anything like that.
Oh, I'm a big musical guy. I love it.
Well, one of the comics we're about to talk about is going to be up your alley then. But anyway, yeah. Well, let's get to the point that everyone kind of wants to hear about. Okay. So I'm gonna gloss over the first few things, right?
Okay.
Cinematography, gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful lighting. World looks lived in.
Yeah.
Very nice from the 1-2 minute trailer that we saw. The actors, they look fitting for the roles for the most part. For the most part. CGI, trash. You have a company, Disney. Okay. Please don't sue me, Disney, for saying your name. But they're a multi-billion-dollar, right?
Yeah.
Multi-billion-dollar organization, and
Monopoly.
That's the best they can do with that Aladdin trailer.
Not only that. My issue is Will Smith as the genie. I don't care about anything else. I don't care. Listen, Robin Williams, iconic in that role. My issue with
I feel like Robin Williams would want people to just not accept, but watch with an open mind and enjoy themselves.
I get that.
That's what I think. I don't know him.
A lot of times, casting choices are different. So yes, Will Smith does have star power. I get that. I get that wholeheartedly. He was
in YouTube Rewind. He's big news.
Listen, he's big on Instagram. He's everything. My issue with Will Smith is that when I watch Will Smith, I say, "Hey, that's Will Smith."
I mean, I said the same thing with Samuel L. Jackson. He's like, nah, don't worry about it.
But you don't do that in Avengers.
No, but I did it in Glass.
Okay, and that's okay.
But no, I think I'm not as concerned with it. I feel like that I felt the same way when I saw Bryan Cranston as Heisenberg. I kept thinking of Malcolm's father.
Okay.
We didn't see enough of Will Smith. I think that's one thing that I'm trying not to jump to conclusions now. But
did you see him in Blue, like as the genie?
I did. No, I saw the trailer.
Okay.
I'm just saying the CGI was bad. I'm saying that. But I'm saying that Will Smith, his mannerisms didn't seem completely off to me.
It seemed off to me because I felt like I was watching the Fresh Prince of Saudi Arabia. I'm serious. You got Will Smith in this blue stuff. Honestly, I think Kazam could have did a better job as a genie than Will Smith.
I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm probably going to see it because we're going to have to.
I'm probably not.
It's our show. It's our job.
I gotta watch it.
It's our job.
Dude.
Listen, I had to watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 for my last show. So
my God! Why would you do that to yourself?
I got multiple posters of it.
Listen, I'm not going to say anything bad about Kevin James because I'm probably going to run into him. So
no, that movie funded his trip to Vegas. But anyway, let's move on from that. What's up next with us?
Up next, Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. I was talking with Nigel about this. We were chatting, and one thing I've noticed is that with Doom Patrol, it seems to have a tie-in with Titans because they introduce those characters in the show Titans.
They do.
And I like the tone that I saw from the trailer. I think that they're going to definitely introduce Cyborg into the Teen Titans somehow in Doom Patrol. That's what I'm feeling.
All right. Because I didn't watch Titans yet. I will watch Titans, I promise you. So Cyborg isn't on Titans?
No, Titans, it's just the first 4 without Cyborg yet.
Okay.
I'm mixed with how Cyborg looks.
Yeah.
But I'm open to them proving me wrong, just like Titans did.
Well, a lot of people were kind of like disappointed because Doom Patrol was supposed to have Beast Boy rather than Cyborg.
Yeah, but the way I'm looking at it is that they're trying to build their own universe like Marvel did on Netflix.
Okay. I understand,
and I respect that.
I respect that. I mean, I see them doing the same thing with CW with all their DC universe that they have on there.
I mean, Titans was like the first show, like original to DC, completely without any outside interference that I genuinely enjoyed. And forever. So I think I'm really looking forward to seeing what Doom Patrol has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fun. It looks like it's gonna be funny. I'm just ready for it. Brendan Fraser's in it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've loved Brendan Fraser.
He hasn't been anything for a while.
Yeah.
He hasn't been anything big for a while, has he? I think he was in the new Mummy, but.
Was he in the new Mummy?
I think so.
I thought Tom Cruise took over.
I know Tom Cruise was in it, but I think that he might have made a cameo.
Listen, I've liked Brendan Fraser since Encino Man. All right.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to Doom Patrol. First episode airs Friday, along with another show we're going to talk about. Yeah. So next thing we're going to talk about is this comic that just came out for any of you geeks, music geeks.
Yes.
This band called the Deer Hunter, A after E as in deer, not like the other crappy shoegaze band. We're going to tell you a story about a man with an Oedipus complex.
When you said Deer Hunter, I keep thinking about
the movie.
The movie, yeah.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Look at that. A after E.
Gotcha.
The Deer Hunter, like that. Anyway, so this is a really interesting story. I want to go over it briefly because I find it their vocalist / mastermind Casey Crescenzo, formerly from the Receiving End of Sirens, you just can't hold it back. Formerly from the Receiving End of Sirens, started this new project called The Deer Hunter, in which he's telling a story about a boy whose mother was a prostitute in a brothel, and then after her passing, he needs to venture out into the town and see what awaits him. And in front of him, you have war. He falls in love with the prostitute, falls out of love because he finds out she's a prostitute.
Right.
Goes to war to escape it, comes back, sees her as a prostitute again. He gets in a relationship with said prostitute later on. I'm butchering this because I'm doing this off the top of my head.
Okay.
He runs for mayor, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of things and pavement along the way. But the point is that the story is very cohesive. It's told across 5 acts or albums.
Right.
Each about an hour in length, and it's very well told. It's a orchestral. It goes from orchestral to lounge music to like grungy rock. It's everywhere, and it's great, and that's why I love it so much.
How does it translate in the music? How does it translate the music and like while reading it? Because you can't hear anything.
I was very interested in this because a lot of other bands try to tell stories with their music. You have Pink Floyd, which admittedly was disjointed unless you saw the movie. Yeah. You have Coheed and Cambria, which spans across like universes. Get that away from me. Okay. And Get Vaxxed away from me too. And you also got what's it? Between the Buried and Me, which is a progressive metal band. Telling a story about 2 planets colliding. So this is a grounded story. And the way Casey tells the stories, he tells it through musical motifs. He tells it through repeating lyrics. He tells it through all these like different, really interesting like styles. And the music actually reflects the mood of the lyrics he's speaking about. So then Casey. The story is easy to understand. You can understand just by reading and listening to the music. So he sought out with a team of people, very talented people, released The Deer Hunter Act 1.
Okay.
And if you don't mind me, I'm just going to open this back up again.
Sure.
Come on. Hey, and we're set. Came with The Deer Hunter Act 1, hoping that there's not a glare. Where it tells the story of the first act, very short, very concise. You can get it all through in this. And then Casey had the idea, listen, Act 2 is a very packed story. A story about love and loss and angst and whatever. So then he packed it into, and we're keeping comics on the show. Act 2 was just gorgeous artwork. I mean, look at that. Look at this. Signed by the man himself. And you just like could tell looking through it.
Wow.
Phenomenal artwork. All of the stuff is really well done. I got to give Bob props, and I want to give everyone else props because I didn't do it last time. Alex Dandino, Ogre Yildirim, Bob Petrek, I can't pronounce these names, but all these people, fantastic job. I appreciate it. And they also leaked a movie. So I'm happy with what's going on with that, and that's pretty good. But anyway, I recommend reading it. $30 an issue, though.
Oh, no, wow.
But listen to the music first. If the music captivates you, then go to the go to the comics. Anyway, next up we have Gerard Way. I have these all set up.
Joy.
Gerard Way, former vocalist of My Chemical Romance, the late My Chemical Romance.
Okay.
Danger Days, True Lies of the Fabulous Killjoy. Fantastic artwork again. Fantastic storytelling.
Yeah.
That looks like Gerard Way too.
Yeah, it does.
And it's just, I wasn't a fan of the album. This story was really well done. 6 issues, very well paced, very thrilling. I was reading it as it came out. I really recommend that. But we're not talking about Killjoys today.
What are we talking about?
Umbrella Academy.
Oh God.
So in preparation for the show, and look at the artwork here too.
Oh my God.
Look at that.
I'm afraid that if I read this, I'm not gonna like the show.
I'm going to probably like it regardless. I hope this doesn't fall. Please don't fall. Please don't leave me like everyone else did. Come here. All right.
Don't fall asleep on us.
Anyway, so Gerard Way is a fanatic on comic books. He wrote Umbrella Academy as like a passion project. There's 2 books. You have the Apocalypse Suite, and then you have Dallas. The Apocalypse Suite, very briefly.
And I think that's what they're tackling on the show.
And we're gonna get to that in 1 second, because the Apocalypse Suite, very briefly, about music that can destroy the world. I'm going to be as vague as possible with that.
Okay.
Dallas is about an assassination, a very famous one. So both of which, you don't understand the cover until you read it. When you read it, it actually makes sense, and you see actually the cover kind of reflected in the story.
Right, I see it.
But when I'm watching so what I love about it is it was very self-aware and very gritty. It follows the story of, the story is basically you have 42 children born out of nowhere.
Right.
The moms didn't even know they were pregnant that morning, and then the kids were born. And only about 12 of them, if I recall correctly, were recalled and brought back by a Dr. Xavier type deal to this house called the Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
Where they're all raised and they're all given, I think they all have individual superpowers and whatever, and they all kind of and you fast forward to long after they were doing superhero stuff, and you see they're very detached.
Oh wow.
And it's a story about like how they're all broken, kind of growing as their own people, kind of slowly coming back together. And it's just like a very fun story. My only complaint is that I don't know how fleshed out you can get it in 5 issues, because each one is about 5 or 6 issues. So, but reading it was a lot of fun. You can get it done in like a couple hours because it's comic books. I mean, look at this. If you can't read these words on pictures that quickly, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I could breeze through that probably.
Yeah, I mean sometimes you're going to want to stop and look at the art.
Yeah.
Because there's some like truly jaw-dropping moments on this. There's some truly jaw-dropping moments on this. So with the so when I saw the trailer, I was very excited. But then I read the comics again, and then I rewatched the trailer, and I was not so excited because there's 2 characters in the story. Cha-Cha and Hazel, right?
Okay.
The way they're introduced, I loved it. They're homicidal maniacs, and they just wear these insane masks. The first time you're introduced to them, they're speaking to an owner of a shop, and like, man, this recipe is really good, and where can I find it? And he's like, you're gonna have to cut off my arms and legs to get it. Wow. Fast forward to them in a butcher shop cutting off his arms and legs.
Wow.
They are insane. And then you have the trailer. They never took off their masks, and now you have Mary J. Blige.
Well, yeah, that's kind of funny. I thought like, Mary J. Blige is a homicidal maniac. That's crazy. Yeah. But what I know, like in acting, like I know that a lot of actors want to show their face. They don't want to wear a mask the whole time. Yeah,
but the thing is though is that was my issue. That was my issue with Bird Box. They spent so much money on a big label actor that they lost it in the actual movie itself.
Right.
And I'm really scared that's going to happen to Umbrella Academy because I'm sure she's not cheap.
She's not acting.
She's not in high demand now.
Right.
But I'm sure she wasn't cheap.
She's not cheap. She does have a following.
But they borrowed her for a whole 10 or 12 episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. It's not for a movie. So I'm really hoping that doesn't cause any detriment. I heard that they played it safe with the show, which also bothers me. Okay. Because the show is insane.
Right.
Like, absolutely bonkers.
It's also on Netflix, which,
gets pretty insane at points, too, though.
Okay.
I mean, Daredevil got pretty nuts.
Punisher got pretty nuts.
Punisher was also pretty slow. True. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what they're going to do because Cha-Cha and Hazel were from book 2. I don't know if they're going to focus on story of book 1 or book 2 or make an amalgamation of the two.
I think they're going to try to mix them up together, yeah.
I know Gerard Way was on staff with making it. So if they have Gerard Way on there and you have him kind of helping tell the story, maybe he's helping tell it in a different way. And then I don't know how they can continue seasons though if they do both.
I don't know.
Because he never made a book 3. So
you might have to make one in between.
Yeah, but anyway, I spent a lot of time on my geek stuff. What's up first review? Polar?
First review is, we can do Polar first if you want.
Let's do Polar. It's pretty quick.
Yeah, okay.
What did I say? I said Suicide Squad meets John Wick with an identity crisis.
Yeah. I don't think you got my Smoking Aces reference also.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, Smoking Aces was a movie about this guy who was he's a witness to a murder or whatever.
Yeah.
And everybody's trying to kill him. So like there's a whole bunch of assassins that are trying to kill him. Jeremy Piven, Common's in there. Alicia Keys.
No, when I first started watching Polar, I was watching the very introduction where it's like the first kill. I'm like, wow, this movie has a lot of style.
Right.
And then the movie kept with the style, and then I started getting really kind of. It felt like a really rich piece of cheesecake, and you're trying to just into the whole thing. And it was, as you said, it was not directed, but it was directed, right, by a music video director.
Yeah, I have that on my other card. Sorry.
Yeah. So it was directed by a music video director, which makes sense. The movie flashes between 2 points. Right. You have the elite Suicide Squad type deal team trying to hunt down Black Kaiser, and you have Black Kaiser just trying to live his normal life and call retirement, which is why they're hunting him.
Yeah, it's also the same guy that is in Hannibal, the TV show.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
Oh yeah.
Not good?
It's pretty good. No,
it is good. I'll watch it. But yeah, so you have Kaiser, which is like one of the elite, the best of the best. You have like Elton John, who sends out these who sends out his squad to go kill him.
You're calling him Elton John. That's hilarious.
Who sends out the squad to go get him. And the thing is, though, is that the movie would be really interesting, but it slows down so quickly.
It does.
And it's just focusing on Kaiser, and it's focusing on him just developing this this relationship with this girl. And it doesn't really have any resolve until the very end.
Yeah.
But it's just, the movie you could cut off half an hour from that.
You could have.
If they just did things a little bit differently, and then on top of that you have like the 6 people on a wild goose chase to go and find him, and they're going to like 7 destinations.
Yeah.
Before like
trying to find him
before reaching one where he actually gives them a clue. I'm like, come on.
I feel like this is Taken and like Lethal Weapon mixed in one.
Jeez. Do you know what? I don't know if you noticed this with the colors. It was so oversaturated. Did you notice that?
Oh, no,
I think it was at points it was like peaking.
It was. I think he did it on purpose, though.
Yeah, but the grass at points just looked like a flat green mass. I mean, you could do things like that on purpose without it just like hurting your eyes, you know?
No, he did it on purpose. He wanted to show something. Like I saw the aesthetics of it. I loved. Like I even loved the fighting.
Fighting was really well done.
You know, the shootout that they had. I love that. It was just the story. I think, just like you said, it dragged on for a little too long, and I wish it was just short, concise. And I felt like I watched this movie before. Like I really, the whole time, I felt like I was watching John Wick again.
Like I said, it felt like John Wick meets Suicide Squad with an identity crisis.
Just an old John Wick.
Yeah. I think. I feel like that it's based on a graphic novel, from what I heard. So the plot already exists. It's just probably not told well, like Spirit. So anyway, I don't recommend watching it. If you want some eye candy and just want some background noise, that's fine. But you're not going to get anything out of this movie.
Yeah,
if I didn't have to review it, I probably would have forgotten it if it wasn't for the visuals.
It looks like a lot of other movies that you've seen before.
Yeah.
You know, the visuals great, but. I didn't care for it.
So what do we have up next?
Next up, Russian Dolls.
I liked it.
You know what? I tried to watch it. I did not know what was going on with this show.
Yeah.
I did not know what was going on with the show. I didn't know what the plot was. I just knew, oh, that's the girl from Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, I don't watch Orange is the New Black.
Right. So I watched it and I was bored the first episode.
Yeah.
And I turned it off. And then I was like, all right, I have to watch it for the show. Let me watch it again. I loved it.
The first episode I thought was really good. I was really enjoying the kind of pace of it.
I was bored because I did not know where it was going.
That's the thing. I feel like it wanted you to kind of put you into her life.
Okay.
But Anyway, one thing I noticed was that the title is a metaphor like for the Russian Patrishka dolls.
Okay.
You know how the ones they open up and the smaller ones inside?
But I never saw them.
No, you didn't see them. But I'm saying that's what for like the actual toy. Okay. Where you open it up and there's small ones inside.
Small ones, yeah.
And you're getting deeper and deeper into the problem.
Okay.
And I think that was the show was. But anyway, plot line. Protagonist, a Jewish ginger New Yorker.
Yeah.
Released from faith, but it's actually kind of important that she's Jewish because it plays into the plot.
Right.
She's living her life. She's at a party, and she finds that the party never ends because when she goes to find her cat Oatmeal, she gets hit by a car and dies.
Right.
However, when she gets hit by a car and dies, she reappears at the start of the show.
Yeah.
You could just keep reliving the day until she needs to figure out what's wrong and fix it.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah. And do you want to do spoilers for this or no? We'll keep it vague.
Yeah, we'll keep it vague. Yeah.
Because I do want to talk about the ending because I enjoyed it and I hated it at the same time. But
yeah, but I want people to watch it.
I want people to experience it.
Yeah, because I went in blind, didn't know what was going on. All I knew was that people from Orange is the New Black was going to be on this, and I was like, all right, great.
I read dark comedy. And I read, and when I just read that and Thriller, I was like, all right, I'm on board.
Well, I didn't start laughing until after she started dying.
But it was really funny. Yeah. I really enjoyed that.
When she started dying over and over again, I was like, all right, I like this now.
And it's so refreshing because it's like, this is a kind of show that I was telling you guys is that when I come home late from work or whatever, and I just want to throw something on while I eat my food and just watch, this is the kind of show I like to watch.
I binged it Monday night.
I watched every episode one day except for like one the next day.
No, I binged the whole thing.
I think I watched it Saturday because I'm just like I got home. I'm like, let me just start watching this, and I just couldn't stop.
Yeah, I couldn't stop either. Like I was watching it. I tried to watch it Saturday. I was like, yeah, I'm not in the mood. Let me try another day. So I tried it again, and I'm like, this is great. And just watching everybody around her, and like I know that something's gonna happen. I know that she has to figure out what's wrong with her life, and I'm like, what is it? And I kind of caught on to it.
Yeah,
you know, because she is a mess. She definitely is a mess. Like even in the first episode, like she's smoking ketamine.
And on top of that, well, it's kind of a bit of spoiler, but
that's not really. She's doing drugs.
Well, yeah, but it's supposed to be weed laced with coke.
Oh, sorry.
Well, anyway, but I think that this is a mild spoiler, but they kind of gloss over it. Yeah. I think that with her character, when I was like watching it unfold and watching her like open up, you kind of see more and more into her because she's reliving the same day. At first she loves it, right, and she starts seeing things slightly going wrong. The person's missing, lights are different, bathroom mirror might be missing, and they're all acting like it's normal.
You know what I would have loved is like she would have tried to like kill people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or like rob a liquor store or something like that, or like do something that she would never do.
But then you saw she was slowly becoming more and more selfless. Like her friends she was trying to take out of harm's way.
Right. I saw that.
Yeah, and it was just, that was really interesting. And as I'm watching the show and I'm seeing more like about her troubled past and her grandmother being, it wasn't her grandmother, it was her therapist that was being her caregiver. I think so, growing up. And just all that, and then seeing, you just see so much stuff that's really interesting. What really was interesting to me is how the show starts off as a dark comedy and then takes a turn for a psychological horror.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're just like looking, you're watching the show and you're just enveloped in this lovely feeling that the show's giving you, and then just punch in the face. Yeah. I don't even know what to expect from that.
Introducing new characters, how it's all intertwined, how they're connected.
And I did like the other protagonists they brought in, which I won't mention. Yeah. But the other protagonist they brought into the show was really interesting to me. And it was a really good juxtaposition to what was her name?
Who?
The main character?
Nadia.
Nadia, thank you.
Well,
it was Nadia and Liam, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they were really good. But I think that Nadia was a really cool character. I think that when we were talking about it, you actually said you hated it. So from the first episode, you said you were bored.
The first episode, I was bored out of my mind, and then I started watching it, and I was like, okay,
it's a fun time. Board.
Yeah. Once she died, I was like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, she's back? All right, now I'm on board.
And what's good about the show is because of this time paradox, there's layers to it.
Right.
So you can actually go, I would find myself doing this with friends. Just go back, rewatch it, and just try to find new things.
Right.
I'm really excited to see what they do for season 2, if they do a season 2. But because I could kind of see possibilities in it based on the ending. But
yes, yeah. I mean, would they still do the same characters?
I don't know, but time stories are very tricky. Like with Looper, for example. Looper was like the story about what if you go back in time to kill Hitler kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whenever you have a time travel story, there's always plot holes.
True.
And I think that when I was watching, I keep saying that fucking phrase, but my presumption is that when I'm seeing this is that I don't think they are able to tie together a perfectly neat plot because there's always going to be some holes available.
True.
As soon as you introduce time-based things, not really time travel, but time-based mechanics, that's when things can start going wrong. Yeah, so anyway, I recommend the show. I give the show a 1 out of 5. Fantastic. Would definitely watch it again.
1 out of 5?
I think ratings are arbitrary, so you won't hear valid ratings from me.
All right. I think it's good. I would watch it again. I liked it.
And if you're sitting alone with a friend or whatever, and you just have some popcorn, or maybe it's like Chrissy's scenario where you have a Valentine's Day going on, don't know what to do, make some food, throw on the TV show, sit down, have a good laugh.
Yeah, definitely.
And then get scared out of your mind in the second half. It's great.
Sure. How much time we got?
We're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well.
All right. So, our last thing to review.
His movie.
A movie that I'm in called
Nigel.
It's called Roxanne. It's about a 14-year-old girl who makes it big in the music world, and is kind of getting too big for her britches. She's taking on a lot of things that she shouldn't be taking on as a 14-year-old girl. And you go through a lot of stuff. I'm in the movie. I play one of her friends named Biz Markie.
Named Biz Markie. Maybe you heard of him.
Maybe you heard of him. Mahershala Ali is in the movie. Nia Long is in the movie. And I'm curious to find out how you like the movie.
All right. So, first of all, Nigel approached me with this movie after we were talking about 7 Seconds. Right. And he's like, you should watch this. You'll probably hate it. And
I thought he wasn't going to like it.
And watching it, first of all, I was watching it as also to support Nigel. Yeah. I wanted to see where Nigel was. And after like 10 minutes, I forgot Nigel was going to be in the movie. I just was enveloped in the plot.
Yeah.
And it's a documentary style. It's a movie based on a character that's told in the form of a movie story.
Right. It starts off in 1982, and then I think we ended around 86, 87.
So Nigel knows, he saw the movie 4 times and he was in it, so he knows the really descriptive stuff about it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the brief things. That's why I didn't take notes.
Cool.
I thought it was a very interesting movie. I thought Roxanne was a very relatable character. She's kind of relatable in the sense where she's going through a lot of rough times. She's really trying hard to get out of the ghetto.
Right.
If it's a ghetto, they're in Queensland.
Queensbridge.
Why do I say Queensland? They're not in Australia. They're in Queensbridge, and she went to school actually in Woodside, and then she had to transfer over there into I-80, I think. So, but yeah. So as I'm watching the show, I see that. They tell you pretty quickly without showing you anything, which I thought was brilliant. They told you she was a phenomenal rapper without even like showing you proof. You see her going to rap battles, and then she's a child standing on like a milk crate.
She's like 9 years old,
and they're scared of her.
Exactly.
And she's making $50, $100, $200 just left and right. And back then, that was a lot more money than today.
A lot more money.
Back then, I could get you more than a carton of milk. So. When I'm watching this, I'm like, all right, this is cool. And then they show her actually rapping out of rage because someone just demeans her.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, she's got some skill. And I don't know if it was the actor or was it a dub. I think it was the actual actor rapping, right?
That time, yes. In the rap battles, it was that.
Yeah, and she was good. She was good. I'm still not a big fan of female rappers, and not because of that. I'm just like not huge into rap. So I'm very niche with it.
It's kind of rough because there aren't too many female rappers. But I will say that the girl that played Roxanne Shante, she was a week or two out of college.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. She's still. Were the braces real?
No, they were prosthetics.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because we all had prosthetics, and like I had a prosthetic like teeth in my mouth too. It was crazy.
Jesus. I really enjoyed watching it. I thought that it was a really nice, warm story about a girl kind of rising to the top. There was there's a scene that was like an almost rape scene in it.
Yeah.
Which I assume really happened. Anything in this movie, I assume was faithful because I think Roxanne Shante was on set, right?
Yeah, she was on set for the most of it. Yeah.
So she made sure that they got everything right.
I mean, obviously, if it's your movie, it's a story of your life, you're gonna embellish a little.
It's gonna be your bias, yeah.
It's gonna be a little biased, but for the most part,
but I think those events she wouldn't lie about.
Yeah, those events she would.
So when I saw that, I'm like, that's really. I'm glad they put it in there. If it was judging on plot alone, I'm really glad that they went with the plot decisions that they did. Knowing its reality kind of is interesting to me because I keep going with that back and forth kind of fighting on the inside. I'm watching Roxanne. I'm watching how her friends and everyone are kind of pushed away from her.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't like is they didn't show you the process of it.
Of what?
You just see one day that she's like getting really big, and the next day her friends don't want to talk to her.
It's not that her friends didn't want to talk to her. What was happening was that she was hanging out with older people.
Yeah.
And she favorited those older people. Like a lot of times as a kid growing up like in a certain area, you look up to the people that like have money or you have success. And as a young girl, she was attracted to that. You know.
Yeah, but when she was, there was a scene where the scene that actually you were first in.
Oh,
where by the van where she's talking to her to her friend, and she's just kind of her friend's trying her best to just get out of that conversation.
Right.
And they didn't show what happened to get to that point. Is what I'm saying.
Oh well, I mean. What happened basically is I believe her song started blowing up.
Yeah.
And she was going on tour.
And she didn't care. She didn't care about like the song blowing up at first. She's like, oh, it's on the radio, whatever. And then she's got like all the fame from it. Mm-hmm. And like when and this was actually really well reflected in Atlanta too. Yeah. When you get like one radio play or whatever, everyone's like, oh, and you're like, oh, you're a superstar now, kind of thing.
Especially back then, because being on TV or radio, it wasn't as you couldn't get on as easy as you can now. Now it's like easy. Like anybody, like this person's on TV or that person's in a movie. You know, back then it was a big deal. Like if you had 5 seconds as an extra in, let's say, RoboCop, you were it.
Yeah, I really appreciated what the movie did. I actually looked up Roxanne Shante after watching the movie on Facebook. I think she has maybe like 1,000 friends, maybe 20 likes on each post, and it's kind of heartbreaking. Someone that like almost had that career, and all her friends kind of rose past her, and she just kind of got stuck back.
Yeah, there was a lot of people like even in the movie, and I'm not really spoiling it or anything. But
it's a true story. So even if we spoil anything, it's still something worth watching.
And it's been out for over a year now, so
I mean I haven't watched it, but also Netflix is oversaturated.
It is. And you know what's funny? The movie came out exactly when they started oversaturating everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, she lived in the same projects as Nas.
Okay.
Who's this big time rapper? You know, a lot of people that were in her crew, Biz Markie, Big Daddy Kane.
Which Nigel did a great job as Biz Markie, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
He was great subtle acting. I got to say that. That's hard to do. Just like the very subtle facial expressions.
Well, you know what? It's very hard to be somebody that's already like still alive. Like when you're playing somebody that people like and is still alive, it's open for criticism.
Yeah.
Like let's say they were dead and like, you know, oh yeah, that's Howard Cosell. Oh yeah, that's you know, Ray Charles. Like it's easier if they're dead. If they're alive, it's like they come up and say, nah, that wasn't me.
Did he ever come out about that, or
no? He didn't.
But you said his fans did, right?
His fans came after me, and you know, but it wasn't. It was just Twitter stuff, basically. Yeah. You know how like Twitter likes the internet always wins. So that's basically what it was. But for the most part, I had
just pray to God you're not Leslie Jones, because she got the bad end of it. And even as much as I hated Ghostbusters, she didn't deserve that.
Yeah, she didn't deserve it. But all in all, like I mean, I had a lot of fun experiences on there. It was produced by Pharrell and Forrest Whitaker.
Okay.
All right. Same team that did Hidden Figures and this movie called Dope, and they were also responsible for finding Ryan Coogler.
Oh wow.
You know. Also, Mahershala Ali, who was the newly Emmy Award winning Mahershala Ali. I think he won. Oscars didn't come out yet, but he has like I think he did win an Oscar last year.
Okay.
For Moonlight. Yeah. So he as an actor. So I don't know if you ever watch his work or see him like do. No. Have you been watching True Detective or no?
True Detective. I think I've seen the episode.
All right. So basically, him as an actor, he's so like involved and so like he's so intense. He played the boyfriend.
Okay. All right.
So he played the boyfriend. So
he was really intense. That like I really loved seeing the development of his character too.
Yeah.
I didn't love what he developed into, but I loved the process that they did and how well done it was.
And he did all of that on his own. Like the director was just like, yo, dude, just do you.
Well, he knew like the goal.
He knew the goal. He knew the end goal, but
he knew he needed to act like he needed to be appealing to her, but and like really like masculine and like the big showy type. But he also needed to have that undertone of there's something wrong here.
But you know what was cool? What was cool was I overheard a conversation of him and Roxanne Shante.
Really?
He's just telling her like he was like, wow. Like he's trying to get information on his character.
Yeah.
But he was like, wow. Like sometimes I can't go to sleep at night about the stuff that I have to do to this girl. You know what I'm saying? Like between the near rape scenes and all the other stuff that's happening, like he was like, yo, I cry at night sometimes. And
yeah, I know. And actually, what I found interesting is that when I was back at my old school, we actually viewed a scene from Roxanne in it.
Oh wow!
It was the scene where he was dragging Roxanne Shante.
Oh wow!
And as I'm watching, I'm like, ah.
You've seen the scene.
I'm like, this is familiar, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about this. It's like time me having to sit through that because they were talking about like domestic abuse. I'll get into that another time.
So what class was this though?
I had to take women's studies for my liberal arts degree. I had to take some sort of human sciences class. I was the only one left, and they're talking about domestic abuse. And they
showed this last year, or
yeah, last year I think.
It didn't come out till like April, March.
I think because I remember the scene.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have seen it anywhere else.
Right.
But I just remember that class was a mess. I'm not going to get into it.
But that is a crazy scene where
it was nuts.
I believe it goes from them having sex to her having a baby to her being physically
that
abused.
Shot.
Yeah.
That one. Oh my! That was incredibly edited.
Yes.
You just see her in the same position for each shot because you're just watching it from the top of her head, and it's just changing. It changes, like you said, it changed from her having sex to the baby, and I think the sex was forceful.
Yeah. It wasn't. No, it was actually loving, but a little forceful. It's a little weird because she's young and he's so old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think she was legal age yet, was she?
She wasn't legal age. But a lot of times that happens, especially back then.
Yeah, so they went from that shot to the top of her head having a baby to the top of her head getting dragged.
Yeah.
And that was... It was disturbing and it was incredible to see at the same time.
Right. And just to see how quick all that stuff happens.
Yeah.
You know.
And I don't know if you saw it 4 times due to your own volition or just because...
I saw it 4 times because, one, I didn't go to Sundance because I went to Sundance.
Yeah.
I was so bummed that I couldn't go see it. So I went to the premiere. And the premiere, I watched it with a whole group of people. Like Stephon Marbury was there. One of the Beastie Boys was there.
People in the movie or no?
People in the movie were there too.
Okay.
Nia Long was there. Shantae. Well, ironically, her name is Shantae.
Yeah. Her name's actually Shantae.
Yeah.
And then she turned into Roxanne Shantae. And I was like, I didn't name you.
The actress that plays Roxanne.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But Roxanne Shantae's real name is actually Shantae too.
Yes, her name is Shantae.
Yeah, I saw that. I was looking at the credits. I'm like, oh, Shantae playing Shantae. That's something.
But like all.
And she looks like her too.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you watched The Wire.
No, I wanted to.
One of the kids from The Wire is in it as well. Like, there's a lot of like little like cameo of people like that were in this movie. That's so cool. You know. Yeah. I had a lot of fun. It was my first movie, man.
It sounds like you had a lot of fun with it, and I really had a lot of fun watching it too, because I thought that when I was watching it initially, when I was watching it initially, I was kind of expecting it to just be like, all right, it's going to be another like documentary kind of piece.
Right.
But then like the cinematography, I saw how the beginning was like shaky start. Notice the hand cam with the shaky start and everything, and then as it's progressing into later on into the show, I'm seeing that the shots are becoming more and more confined.
Yep.
They use a lot of yellows in it, which also they use in Russian Dolls.
Yep.
A lot of oranges and greens. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Because her hair was so vibrant orange.
Exactly.
Color correction in that show was beautiful.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Roxanne. I really liked the and I really liked the ending because it was realistic. It was unfulfilling. Right. Because you expect more to happen, but if that's what happened, like, that's what happens.
I mean, that's what happened. Like, honestly, she really didn't have that much of a career because, and now we see why.
But what I like though is that it didn't focus too much on her career. And there's this one shot that I really liked. There was a scene really. It was it shows that she's talking back to the guy, to her boyfriend, or was it husband at the time? I think it was still boyfriend.
It was her boyfriend.
Yeah. So and then he punches her, and the next day they're trying to do a photo shoot. And she's like, she can't move her mouth. Right. And like she's saying, they're trying to get her to smile, and you just hear like, can't move my mouth. Right. Like, talking like that. And yeah, it was impactful.
It was, you know what, the director, and his name escapes me right now, but I know his first name, I can't think of his last name, but he said, he even said it, like he wrote it himself. Yeah. So he said he didn't want to make it like every other biopic. Yeah. He didn't want to make it as a concert film, because that's why people either really love it or really like say, okay, it was okay. Because what happens is it doesn't play the beats. Like it doesn't play certain songs that people want or people are looking for. Like there's certain things that happen in between all of this, and the reason why she didn't become famous. There's certain things that are not in the movie that people like say, oh man, but you didn't do this. And that's what happens when people are still living and you do like, you know, you grew up through it. Like my grandfather, when I watched the James Brown movie with him, he was like, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. I'm like, how old are you? Were you hanging out with James when this happened? You know?
Jeez.
But yeah, he said he didn't want to do it like that. He wanted to focus on the story. And he comes from his mentor was Spike Lee. Like he went to NYU Film School, and you know, he was like, yo, I just got to focus on the story. As long as I focus on the story, everything else is understated. And we shot it in like in 4 weeks.
Yeah, you told me you shot it in like a really short time span with a really small budget.
Small budget.
It didn't show because like watching the show, it didn't seem like it had a small budget. It seemed like it was just trying to be intentionally intimate with it. Yeah. Even because every scene that I'm watching had the feel it was trying to convey. And even with Nigel, when I saw you beatboxing on stage.
I was really beatboxing. Like everybody asking me that question. I was beatboxing.
I love it because Shantae's DJ walked out. Wow. No, Shantae's DJ walked out and you're like, I can beatbox for you. I can do it. They're going to love it. Trust me. And I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, yo, we did that in 2 takes.
But you told me that was overdubbed with an original beatbox track from back in the day.
Original. I'll show it to you after we get off of this. Yeah. But yeah, that was original. Like they perform that live.
Wow.
You know.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I recommend watching it. If you, especially if you like biopics. I classified, if it wasn't a biopic, I classified it as a drama. Yeah. A little bit of the thriller.
It is a drama, yeah.
But there were heartwarming feelings, but a lot of it was just kind of like Roxanne's spike to fame and then her downward spiral.
Yeah, definitely.
And I thought that was really, I hate to say it, but her career is really refreshing for me to watch because I just hated seeing like the typical, oh, look how big I am now kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody. I heard really good things. Yeah. But I just kind of hearing about it, I'm like, I wanted this as a more kind of different take. Yeah.
I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody, the difference between that and Roxanne. Bohemian Rhapsody is just that Hollywood tale. Yeah. You know, the rise and then like end on a big note. Whereas
Roxanne end on a lower note than you started.
Basically.
Yeah. I mean, on one side she ended up with a kid, on the other side how she's going to pay for the kid.
True.
So, but yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I recommend watching it. I recommend watching Russian Dolls. Yeah. I recommend watching, I don't recommend watching Polar. Yeah. I'm going to watch Umbrella Academy because I'm hyped. Yeah. I'm going to keep reading Deer Hunter.
and a Marina Independent Woman.
Yeah. I actually want to just talk about that. I want to just first mention, we're watching Doom Patrol first episode this weekend. Okay. And I'm going to marathon Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy. And the new episode comes out on Monday of Anya Marina.
Anya Marina.
The web series that I'm in.
Yeah. So I just want to talk about that quickly because you haven't seen it all, have you?
I didn't watch it yet. I think I've seen the episode already.
So it's a mini series that Nigel's in, and we're just watching it. Brilliant work, man. It's talking about, which I find a perfect story for nowadays. It actually reminded me in terms of humor with Curb Your Enthusiasm and Marin. Yeah. It had both of those kinds of senses of humor. With like already being kind of famous, and like that's what sense of humor is. It's like being kind of famous and living your life. Except she's not famous. Right. She has that delusion of grandeur.
Exactly.
And you're following this character through her adventures around New York City, thinking she's a big like indie pop star or indie acoustic star. Yep. And she has talent. I mean, I hear her singing and she sounds good unless it's dubbed over.
She has like actual songs out. Like she is a real like independent artist.
Yeah, so I found that really entertaining. And as I'm progressing with it, it was only about 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes.
I think it's 7.
7. All right. Yeah. So it was really short, but it was really entertaining. It was full of laughs. I will never forget Notekins.
Notekins. They're notes on napkins.
And seeing Nigel so stern in it, he's playing her bodyguard in it. So you're like co-starring in that pretty much with her.
Pretty much, yes. I don't say much because I play the bodyguard that's really like...
But your facial expressions are hilarious.
I know. I made sure that I killed it with my facial expressions every time.
It's weird. I can't like make that detachment because I met you before these things.
Right.
So just seeing you on all these things and seeing that your face action, I'm like, hey, that's the guy I talk about geek shit with. We've been talking about Spider-Man. But it's the Biz Marquee thing. I see Nigel, I was like, hey! Well, Nigel appears.
I'm in another show on Netflix too. It's hilarious.
Oh my god!
I play like a tough guy.
Oh boy! We got to do something. We got to make sure you act. I do the score.
Sure.
It'll be amazing. It'll be a one-man show.
I'm with it. As long as I get to do the TS biopic.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Any final words? Any wrapping ups on our thoughts or anything?
Oh no, I'm good. Just follow me on Instagram at Nigel Fullerton _.
Follow me at MR_Malum. I just broke 2K.
Ooh, hey.
So I'm happy about that. I'm working on some new music. I have some new interesting stuff coming out. I have a vocal cover of Periphery's Blood Eagle coming out this week.
Okay.
So that's going to be really fun. I finished tracking it. Just got to make sure that the video's all tidy. So I'm excited for all that. But thanks so much for tuning in. This is The Jump Cut. Thank you so much. I hate my life.